Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about VeChain. VeChain has done quite well in the last few days, so I just want to look at the chart, really talk about what it's doing. Before I start, just really to emphasize that lately there have been a lot of new scammer bots, scam people, whatever on my channel here in the comments. So whenever you see anyone posting any sort of weird message or a WhatsApp number or asking for your Telegram or anything, just ignore it. These are scammers. They turned up on my channel when I reached around 500 subscribers. I'm normally really good at deleting them, and you know, I think I'm quite good compared to other channels. But yeah, they are always there and I can't always delete them on time. So please make sure you're not clicking on them, or you're not replying to them, you're not giving any numbers out or anything, or reply to anything on WhatsApp. I will never ask you to send me a message on WhatsApp. So please disregard these. Even if they have my logo, they just steal them. And yeah, I think YouTube generally has a very difficult time in addressing that issue as well. Yeah, so but let's start with VeChain. VeChain is still in the correction here, we can see that. However, it's doing something interesting, and so far, honestly, the VeChain analysis has played out perfectly. I mean, we've had this all the way up to the 30-cent run earlier in 2021. We then moved down also here in a corrective move down in a wave A. We're now coming up in a wave B, or we did that already, came up in a wave B, and we are now in this wave C. Now, is the wave C already complete? This is what we need to look at. At the moment, I can't see it yet, because what I would need to wait for is a 5-wave move now. But this is a yellow target area. This is the target area that I did give you when we were here back in November. I think we talked about it first. Yeah, so we were around 15 cents. I don't know. I would need to look it up when I started to talk about it first. Maybe around 15 cents. So I talked about the price could reach this area between 3.3 cents and yeah, 5 to 6 cents. Yeah, so the price actually did reach that area in the end. We did get there, and you know, I always said this is the area where with the highest likelihood the price could turn around. And now we need to see what the price is doing. If Bitcoin really does another major sell-off, then I can very well imagine that the price comes back deeper into that yellow target area. Yeah, and that goes down all the way to 3.3 cents. I don't think it's going to get lower. That would be pretty much a 50% sell-off from now. That's pretty much in line what I would expect for Bitcoin as well, what Bitcoin is expected to do as well. Or 40 to 50%, and or maybe 30 to 40 for Bitcoin. Don't know what it would exactly be, but then typically you can expect for an altcoin to drop higher. And as soon as we don't see an impulse here, a 5-wave structure, a first 5-wave structure to the upside, you know, I can't really say we've seen the low. Okay, but I will definitely make you aware as soon as I see something. The only thing I can see at the moment is that we had a good potential to buy down here. I issued my buy order. My buy orders to channel members, and several buy orders triggered, even a little bit higher than the target area, and purely because I think even at 8 cents, I think, for example, VeChain was at a fantastic price, because I think, and that's what the Fibonacci extension levels are telling me, that we're going to get back to much higher levels after the completion of the correction, and these levels will be at least the 1.618 Fibonacci extension at 45 cents, and it could go all the way up to 55 or even 72 cents. And just imagine a 72-cent VeChain from where we are now would be a nice 10x, maybe even a little bit more. So what is very interesting then, in the last few days here, while Bitcoin was moving up as well, VeChain did some nice gains. It made some nice gains, which is important. So it's actually a nice reaction to this target area. To be fair, not a very strong one. I mean, we've seen here, as you can see here, for example, that was end of December. We've seen a move from 7.6 cents all the way up to 10 cents. So you get these counter reactions, right? And at the moment, I can't see an impulse forming here yet. Nothing that I would interpret at that, and not a clear signal of that. But anyway, we have seen the low. We've come into the target area. My primary expectation would still be, because of Bitcoin's forecast sell-off, that's still what I go with. I did explain that in detail in my Bitcoin video, that we're going to see once more the price to go anywhere in this yellow target area. However, what we need to acknowledge here is that VeChain did break out above this descending trend line. So I'm gonna take that out actually, but we've seen it break here, this descending trend line. I'm gonna delete that now. Then we had this other trend line that we talked about in the last video, where we saw a reaction here to this descending trend line as well, and we have moved above it. So that is one that was broken as well. It's a sign of strength in my view. And now, however, I think we've got here something else going on, potentially another trend line that we can define now. It's sometimes worth just looking out for these trend lines, and there you go. I think we've got another one, where we can connect various highs together here. One touch point up there, one touch point here, one touch point here, and now we see a reaction to this trend line, basically a new one, yeah, at 6.6 cents. That would be the resistance level here, very close to the 50-day moving average here as well at 7.3 cents. And to be fair, I think now it depends on Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin went up higher from here, I think we could consider VeChain's correction as complete, because it did what it needed to do in this wave 2 correction, in this ABC, which is part of a wave 2. It has done it, so it could really theoretically move to new all-time highs from here. It's done its correction, yeah. If we go to the 4-day chart, we see a RSI that's still in the bearish range. However, the MACD is potentially forming a turnaround here. I think a very nice one actually. You can see how the selling momentum is decreasing. So at some point here we might see a buy signal trigger on the 4-day chart, which is actually quite meaningful. The weekly is also here potentially starting to turn around. A bit too early to say that. And also on the weekly RSI, we are still in the bearish range. Actually telling me that my primary expectation would still be at play, because we are not yet in bullish momentum. We are not going there yet, not on the higher time frames. On the daily time frame, we can see that we were just oversold. Of course, you see that sort of counter reaction, and we're moving higher. Now we're currently losing out a little bit again, because we are overbought. We were overbought on the lower time frames, and here on the daily, we have a little bit more shorter term scope to move higher actually. But it depends, I think, on what Bitcoin is doing now. So I mean, the message here is that, you know, we've come all the way down here, from up there into the forecasted target area. I think that was a great achievement, right? Buy orders were triggered along the way here, dollar cost averaging in, and it has done what it needed to do in the correction. I think that is the message. And now it depends on Bitcoin. It depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does this other sell-off, which I primarily expect, we are going to get down lower here in the target area once more. At the lowest, I would say 3.3 cents. And that would be my primary expectation, that we're going to go lower once more. Yeah, forming another lower, I would say. And that is all based on my analysis for Bitcoin as well, because VeChain itself has done what it needed to do in the correction. Bitcoin hasn't done that yet, okay? Bitcoin hasn't reached the target area yet to the downside. VeChain has. That's the difference. And therefore it has played out perfectly here. And I think all it needs now is a bit of patience here. We've seen a first good reaction to that target area. Yeah, we've moved out of it for the first time actually in the last few days here. We've moved out of it and had daily candles closing above that target area, which is a good first sign. And now I need to watch that level here, that price development very closely, and I'll make you aware as soon as I see an emerging impulse. Yeah, that's what we need to wait for. And that's my view on VeChain here. A lot of potential, good prices, no financial advice. So thanks a lot for watching. Hope you liked the update about VeChain. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And yeah, if you really like the content, maybe join as a channel member, and you can find the links for that in the video description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.